Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Cruisin the Planet. That is really tall. Wait a second.
Yeah, let's it's just your forehead.
I think I have already
Also,
messed
it's
this
just
up.
my
Just
hand.
before.
I have Okay, to be fair, I didn't set that camera up.
That's okay. Hello everybody.
It was set up until
Let's,
someone
The
moved.
wrong direction. There
Oh,
we
hey,
go.
now we have the whole gang.
Okay. See, here's the thing: is it's repeating now.
Yeah, no, we have like a
I don't-
eternal moment there. Good thing my profile isn't
yeah,
too scary,
okay, no,
or else I'd hate
I hit the wrong button. That's what it was. I hit the wrong button for sure. Anyways, after that technical difficulty, hello and welcome back to another episode of Cruisin the Planet here with KXTR 100.7 The Planet. Obviously, the best college radio station in the nation. An exaggeration, of course. But today we have a fun and exciting topic, mostly because I am here hosting instead of Travis, as is the face you're normally accustomed to seeing here. But I think I'm a little bit more fun. And of course, I am joined by Randon, who you might know over in the corner there.
Hello.
Tyler, as a repeating guest. Once again, we
Hello.
keep trying to get him away, but he keeps coming back. Also, Molly, can you bring your mic down just a little bit? There we go.
Yeah, I was blocking his face.
And then,
Apologies.
of course, our wonderful Molly Moon, just past noon here,
That's
who has
me.
been on the podcast mostly on college radio days.
It is past noon.
Not just past noon, though. It's a little bit
It's-
more
yeah.
just past noon. But our topic for today is, of course, the very topical Video Game Awards, as the nominations were released 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to shut up about them since. And then, of course, the actual Video Game Awards are taking place next week on Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
So now is the time to go and get your votes in if you haven't voted for your favorites already. There are 31 categories, which is quite a lot.
Wow.
It's kind of insane, but I thought today it would be fun to go over and talk about a couple different categories that me all might have some opinions about. Talk about some of the games that have been nominated a lot. Baldur's Gate 3, which is an insane amount of nominations.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate.
Talk about some games that didn't get nominated that we think maybe should have, because we're all, pretty on top of playing games. And then for segment B, of course, we are going to be playing video game music trivia, still hosted by me. I have 15 wonderful 30-second clips. Actually, I lied. One of them is 40 seconds.
That's okay.
But the rest of them are 30 seconds. And then we will ponder, of course, the question of the week. What is your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, okay.
Oh
Fun.
man.
I'm excited for the
There's
music
so many.
portion. My Wrapped came out today. Guess what? All Undertale. All of it. Every single one. Top 5 artists, they're all Undertale artists. Like, covers. I just need you to know that. So, I hope there's an Undertale soundtrack on there.
It's not. It didn't come out this year.
No, I know.
And then
There was an
Deltarune's not
Undertale thing
complete.
You know
somewhere
what did, though?
online.
Underverse Part .07
Oh,
Part
yeah.
2. I'm so sorry. It's adjacent.
I
It's
actually
gaming
had to
adjacent.
play Undertale very recently for a class.
Oh, they voted for Undertale?
They did.
Oh, I thought for sure they'd pick Stanley Parable.
No, they all hated Stanley Parable.
Why?
They're all like, it's the worst game ever. It only takes like an hour.
The
It's so
narrator's
boring.
glorious.
I'm
Dude,
like,
that game
I'm
is
sorry,
fun.
you're not playing the Stanley Parable correctly.
Yeah, an hour.
The
It
Stanley
takes so
Parable is the
long.
one where you start off in an office and
Yeah.
you just keep walking.
And the narrator
Well, there's, like,
is telling
multiple
everything that
different
Stanley
endings.
does.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There's a ending for every choice you can make. It's kind of
Literally.
insane.
There's the broom closet. That's probably one of my
It's like,
favorites.
I love
it's
the
literally
broom
Bandersnatch,
closet.
The
but
bucket.
Yeah.
less dangerous.
It's really good. So I know that you guys have hopefully looked over the categories and the nominees and everything like that. I do, of course, have lists here in case we all need a little bit of a refresher.
I got the website up on my phone.
Oh yeah, let me.
So
also pull
I
that
have a couple categories here that I think would be very fun and kind of pertinent to talk to as it relates to how we all play games, because I know most of you very well. And just I thought it would be fun to kind of go through and talk about them. So, of course, do you guys want to start or end with Game of the Year? You want to start with a bang or go out with a bang?
Could I end it with a bang?
End it with a bang?
Yeah.
Go out
Okay,
with a
okay.
bang.
So,
Bang, bang, bang. I'm so
So-
sorry.
in that case, the category I think would be fun to start with is Best Art Direction.
Oh, fun.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
The nominees for Best Art Direction, which is of course just visually how the game looks, is Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Ooh, this is hard. I
Right?
have 3 of those on there on that list. I'm like, exquisite. I have
Honestly,
chills thinking about it.
They all look pretty good. The one that I think would be, I think my like dead last pick would be the Super Mario Bros. Game,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because it just kind of looks like any other Mario game.
It does.
I
like
do
although
visually
agree.
speaking.
Yeah.
I do want to say this though. That Piranha Plant song and the King Boo opera, I couldn't get it out of my head. I
That's
could
fair.
not get the little
That's
Piranha
fair.
Plant song.
That's one thing I was gonna say when we got to best score in music. You can say whatever you want about Nintendo games in terms of like the quality of them or how much you like them. You can't deny the soundtracks hit every single time.
The music is very
Every single time.
iconic.
Nintendo does not have a miss when it comes to music.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
That being said, though, oh my gosh, Tears of the Kingdom. Ah! I'm
game
such
is
a Legend of
beautiful.
Zelda fan. Just the evolution of Legend of Zelda, when you put them all in a timeline, like side by side, and you see Tears of the Kingdom at the end of that, beautiful.
It is a very gorgeous looking
Gorgeous.
game.
It's I remember like the open world, like just the way it looks. I can compare it to like Genshin Impact is probably a really comparable game of in visualization.
I
purposes.
disagree.
Really,
I
thought they
disagree.
had similar.
No,
at least Breath of the
I
Wild.
think Genshin Impact has a very simple kind of art style.
Mhm.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think
Right.
it has a very simple art style. Legend of Zelda, like Tears of the Kingdom specifically, has such a very gorgeous and kind of
Polished.
like yes.
Mm.
I think it looks so good. I think it's probably
Mhm.
one of the best looking games that has come out this year.
Yes,
And I don't even like Legend of Zelda all that much. You know this about me.
it's good. And then also on that list I heard was Alan Wake. Wow,
That game
wow,
is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, Alan.
wow.
Everything
I
I've
don't
seen of
think I've
Alan
ever
Wake is
seen
very.
Alan Wake.
It's a pretty scary game.
It's about how the two worlds like mesh together and
Isn't it like SCP adjacent as well? I heard some mentionings.
Ish. I
It's-
can kind of see how it'd be
it's very
comparable.
supernatural.
Yeah.
Right.
Very supernatural, dark.
I saw part of like one of the opening segment fights. Yeah.
Actually, it
teleporty
kind of reminds me a
TV
little
guy.
bit of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the gameplay reminded me
It kind of goes in that same vein of like survivalist horror that like Resident Evil and Silent Hill are
And
both
you're a
so
cop.
like, you know, it's right. I can totally see that. You know, I think.
one thing I do want.
Oh, no.
Well, I want
You
to.
go.
I want to make sure we don't talk about, or we do talk about Hi-Fi Rush,
That game,
which
looks
is kind of
amazing.
an underdog in this category.
It's very
But-
stylized, and for that reason, it's probably one of the two
I'm okay
games
with it.
I would be most okay with winning for this category.
I want Hi-Fi Rush to win very much so.
I agree.
It's really pretty. I
It's-
like it stylized.
It's stylized and it's the music, how it incorporates into it. And then the music also is in the art style itself. And so I think there's a lot of really interesting aspects that go into it. And
Have you played it fully?
I haven't. I'll admit to it.
Okay.
Most
But
of
I
these
have-
games
I've
I have
watched-
not played.
My friend play
Mm.
most of it.
Is it cool?
I've seen them.
Oh, it's really
essentially,
cool.
I've heard
extensively.
pretty
and
much nothing but
I
good stuff about
want it to
Hi-Fi
win at
Rush.
least one thing, which is why I'm voting
Yeah.
for it for most of the categories it's
I
in.
want-
Don't
wanna
vote for
play
it for best soundtrack.
play
We'll
it.
talk about that.
I'll vote
We'll talk about that, but
Yeah, no, quite
I-
the diversity.
I
on
will
this
say,
list.
I think in terms of the two games that off this list that I would be most okay with winning, it would be either Hi-Fi Rush or Lies of P, because the overall aesthetic cultivated in Lies of P is kind of unreal.
Mhm.
I don't
It
have a lot of
really has
knowledge.
that like
So Lies of P is a Dark Souls.
it's the Dark Souls game that's like based on Pinocchio.
Yeah, Pinocchio.
And so it really like meshes that kind of Dark Souls aesthetic that you see from like the rest of games that are
Elden
kind of
Ring.
like that
Is it part
and
of the
like a
Dark
very
Souls
storybook
it's
kind
it's
of
it's a
motif. Like it's really
They
cool.
said
Not
we like
Forza.
the fantasy genre. Let's pick Pinocchio, I guess.
Mm.
Well,
He
they,
doesn't
they
give enough
already
love.
they teased a Wizard of Oz one.
yeah. They're working.
Oh, they
they're working
did.
on
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz.
Exquisite. I love that they're dabbling in like a bit of fairy tale.
I think it's really cool.
adjacent stuff.
Especially like picking some of like the ones that often don't get as adapted.
Right, princesses. We get so many of them. We
Right?
understand. We get it. People like princesses.
Putting the
I
two-
want the cool. Where's the valiant little tailor at? You know, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to go around in a circle. Out of the 5 nominees, which one would you pick?
Tears of the Kingdom immediately.
Here's the Kingdom. Tyler.
I'm biased though.
This is for best art direction.
Yes.
I want to do Hi-Fi Rush because I like how the music incorporates with everything else, and it's super
I need to
stylized.
play that
Yes.
game.
Yes.
I like-
Absolutely.
like, I love
Play it,
Alan
Tyler.
Wake. And I love Lies of P, but I think they're a little too normal. I like how Hi-Fi Rush is different.
Okay. Brandon.
It's a tie between Tears of the Kingdom
Mhm.
and Hi-Fi Rush.
That's fair.
Hi-Fi Rush is really good.
I've
That's
never
what I
played
would
both
pick
of them,
second.
but I want to play both of them.
I
What
think-
Tears of the Kingdom?
Just because I've seen the mechanics of how everything works and just how beautiful it is.
It's
like,
so unique.
lighting.
Again, and also you have blue in Breath of the Wild, and then Tears of the Kingdom you have like the green
But
mechanics.
aren't the mechanics similar in the two games?
I think so, but I think Tears of the Kingdom got a bit more complex.
I like the
and,
green.
I don't want to say the things are more helpful. Like there was the Sheikah Slate and the abilities with that. From what I saw, because I technically have avoided spoilers up to this point, I know it's kind of miraculous. I plan on playing Tears of the Kingdom at some point. From what I saw, though,
Do you know it's also the most sold game this year?
really,
It's like it's sold over
Really?
like 18 million copies.
It also came with its own limited edition Switch dock. That was the most beautiful thing ever. I wanted it so bad, but I know that's silly. I already have a Switch dock. I don't need to do that.
I need to play it. I have a
It's-
Switch right
yeah,
now.
that's
My
fair.
girlfriend let me borrow hers for a little bit, so
I've never played any of the Legend of Zelda games.
I
so
like
don't
them.
know.
I
They're
grew
great.
up with that game, so that's why.
I think if I had to pick one from this category, though, I think I would just go with Lies of P, just
Lies of P.
because I like the aesthetic in it so much. I think it's so cool.
Yeah,
Hardcore.
no, it looks neat.
But if we were picking a winner based on just what was said in this room, Hi-Fi Rush would in fact be the
Yes.
winner.
That's
I
true.
like that.
That is very true.
So-
Again, it's really unique in comparison to the other ones. It looks like,
Absolutely.
from what I could tell, that one's actually more like 2D versus the other ones are more 3D animation, which interesting conversation for another time. 3D animation versus 2D lately.
All right, round of applause for Hi-Fi Rush for
Let's
winning
go.
KXTR's Best Art Direction.
I need to play it.
Okay, so the next category I want to talk about, and this is because this is something that specifically applies to me and like my hyperfixations and interests and everything like that, as you guys would all be aware. I want to talk about best score in music.
Aha, yeah.
But you
Um,
got to think, I'm a music major.
Well,
bro.
yeah, but I also run my show on video
Yeah,
game
so she
and
has
anime
the
music.
show.
That's actually, I was just mentioning to Molly and Tyler before we started that my show, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before that, was based entirely on the nominations for the Video Game Awards Best Soundtrack. So I'm a little bit familiar with all 5 of these. I have listened to these, but the nominations were Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, and Tears of the Kingdom.
Wow. Okay. Woof. It's so hard. I feel like they're all so good and so deserving.
I'm gonna come out and say first that I don't have enough knowledge on all of them to
don't have
make
any
a great
knowledge.
assessment. I know
That's
that
fair, that's
Baldur's
fair.
Gate and Hi-Fi Rush have great soundtracks, but I
Right.
don't know enough about the other three.
I will say, in my personal opinion, I'm not the biggest fan of Hi-Fi Rush's soundtrack. I believe when I talked about it on my show, I described it as a kind of retrofuturism, 90s, 2000s alternative garage sound.
Yeah.
There is
Like-
a little something to be
That's pretty
desired for
epic.
its music, especially because
Yeah.
the way the mechanics work, it's very 4/4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you
Do you
always, you always get
do you
that
play the game
dance
like
music.
with music? Do you like play the game with music?
Have you
Yes.
not played the game?
I've never played it. I'm
So-
literally.
Oh
gonna
no! So
go
the
and
game
play
is
it.
literally focused around music.
Okay, I gotta play it then.
You
I didn't
hit
know that.
on you hit with the music that's going on around you, and it increases your damage.
Bro,
and how
are
you,
you
Yes,
how
it's
serious?
like
You need,
partially
no,
a
you,
rhythm
you
game.
need, you need
I
to
love
look
it.
at this game.
It's a cool
I never
concept.
knew
Yeah.
that.
You need to
And
look at this game.
it's a little
It'd be
bit
so
unique,
good
I
for you.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
But,
won't
um,
lie.
Baldur's Gate. That's a term.
I
like,
think out of this list, I'm gonna give my opinion on this early. I think Baldur's Gate 3 wins specifically just because of Raphael's final act. Imagine fighting a boss and the boss sings his own theme song.
literally,
cool.
it's so iconic. Again, like Baldur's Gate, from my understanding, is like turn-based combat as well.
Yeah,
like
it's
you've
like
gotta
D&D.
have a good soundtrack for that to set the mood. If you've ever been in a D&D game, you've got
Oh, yeah.
somebody on music for your combat sequences.
Dude,
Okay,
I'm
D&D
not gonna
does
lie.
change
The
with good
Baldur's
music.
the Baldur's Gate soundtrack goes stupidly hard.
and again, the ambient music and stuff, like from what I've seen, it's really exquisite. I mean, not to like hate on Tears of the Kingdom immediately. I mean, that one's always good. By the way, I immediately saw Final Fantasy and I saw those Roman numerals. I can't even count. I can't.
16.
Yeah, 16. Enough. That is enough. That's enough Final Fantasy. Is it really the Final Fantasy? I don't think it is
To
because
be
we're at
fair,
16.
I think they've skipped some numbers.
Oh.
Stop this. I've had enough. How
they need a
many
new way
more do
of,
we need?
It's like how many different
counting.
Call of Duties can you make?
Oh yeah.
Many
There's like
Batman
multiple
do
different
we
Call of
Also,
Duty
side note, the
Very
fact that
cool.
Lethal Company is currently outselling the new Call of Duty game brings me so much joy. Also,
Which one's Lethal
Sorry.
Company? I forget.
Call of
Controversial
Poopy, bro.
opinion, my missed game for the nomination for art direction, it was Lethal Company.
Oh.
I'm joking. I need to show you guys.
There
a
were
I was like,
couple-
lethal.
there are a couple
Wait,
games
isn't
that
that the
were
one with the
graphics
ladder?
Those
Isn't that
graphics
have the
are so
ladder?
goofy, bro.
Isn't the
I don't know,
OSHA
goofy
violation
graphics
game?
Can be good.
It
Yeah,
does,
goofy graphics.
no. It looks like this.
Yes, that's the OSHA violation game. I just saw a video of a clip
That
going,
is from
"Hey, have you
someone
seen our
like
most
a-
lethal
It's
weapon?"
not connected. I can't show it on
Oh,
here.
that's sad. Anyway, he like
Never
pulls up a
mind.
ladder and it falls in the bonk sound effect of the ladder hitting somebody's head and immediately like knocking them out. It was so
Look,
funny.
don't get me wrong. I love this game.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
so much fun. Me and my friends have been having so much fun with it. But
I need to
it
get it.
definitely looks like the game, like the kind of like
It
visuals
looks
you would
like Among
expect from a
Us.
one-person team.
It looks like Among Us a little bit.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, by
It's-
the way, there's an indie crossover with Among Us right now. You can dress up as Sans Undertale. Just wanted to let you know that. And also
Cursed.
Castle Crashers for no reason.
Absolutely cursed. I don't know. I've listened to the soundtracks. They're good. I don't think any of them are particularly bad. I think my least favorite of the 5 would be Hi-Fi Rush.
Mm.
It's just not my favorite. But like Final Fantasy 16 is kind of insane. I'm reticent to say like and agree with there being enough Final Fantasies because I just want them to keep making more just because I want more of the soundtracks.
I've heard good things about the music from Final Fantasy.
You
Yeah,
guys
no,
should
it is
keep that in
acclaimed.
mind.
But I just, in my head,